Hello. I am doing what I watched in December. All the movies that I own. I watched a lot of new to me's, and there's three here that I own, but they're also new to me's. So I'm just gonna get them out of the way first. The first movie that I watched, I think I got these for Christmas, was I Remember Mama. And it's funny because I'm watching Dallas for the very first time ever. And this movie has Barbara Bel Geddes, and she's obviously, if you have seen Dallas, she plays the mother on Dallas. So, and in this, she was 26, so she was playing a much younger girl, a woman. I think it was like a bit like 18 in this movie, and she looked a lot younger than 26. But yeah, this movie was so good, and if you haven't seen it, I do recommend that you see it. It is really good. And then I watched Designing Woman. I don't remember when I watched the other two, but Designing Woman was really fun, and I enjoyed it, and I loved the pairing between Gregory Peck and Lauren Bacall. So yeah, I haven't seen this. You should. It's really fun, and I loved it. And then we have 40 Pounds of Trouble. It has Tony Curtis and Suzanne Plesette and this little girl. She was so cute, and it was filmed at Disneyland, and it's the first film to ever be filmed there, and it was so much fun to watch because I used to live in California and go to Disneyland all the time, and I miss it. So it was nice to see it, even if it was 1962. So obviously things have changed since then. But I remember all the old attractions that were there because I am a '90s kid. So I remember like the People Mover and the like all the old attractions that were there before they renovated it all. But yeah, so it was fun to watch for all the nostalgia. Um, then the first movie I watched was Home Alone. Um, the first movie obviously is the best, but I have the combo pack, and we'll talk about the second one. I would say I watched obviously both of them, but the first movie I watched, kick everything off, was Home Alone. Get back to that. And then I watched Laguna Beach season two. I had to finish season one, and I was like, I just might as well watch season two because it is one of my all time favorite shows. It's obviously very scripted. I mean, this is when reality TV was first like big, and so yeah. When nobody really knew that it was fake. Now everybody realizes, reality TV is not real. Um, so I mean, there are moments in this that were like legit real. Like if you've seen this, there's the iconic fashion show, Jason, Jessica, Lauren drama that happened, and that was actually real. That whole thing was not for the cameras. It was an actual situation. So yeah, well, that's iconic. But I don't like Jason, and again, like I mentioned it, he's grown and he's changed, and he's gone to rehab and he's gone to therapy, and he seems to be a lot more of a better person than he used to be. So I'm completely proud of him for that. He relapsed, but that's fine. Doesn't make him a bad person, and he's still trying. And I wish him all the happiness and everything in the world. But in this, he was not the best version of himself. Um, in this time it was like right here, and so it's just hard to watch him mistreat Jessica and gaslight everyone that he's with, and just like it's not fun to watch. Of course, I'm doing yard work now, but my this neighbor every single effing day seems like they're doing yard work every day, and it's like enough. And it was quiet, so I was like, I'll do it now. Of course, it's not now because of. Anyway, I've gotten this far, so hopefully it'll stop in a little while. But Yeah, I love Laguna Beach. Kristen's my favorite. She's my favorite. What I realized while watching Laguna Beach as much as I have is that I envy Kristen's high school experience. She had fun. She lived her life, you know. She had a boyfriend, and if there was any drama, she would just live her life. Like she did not try to make him happy or like explain her actions. And she was a teen. They were both teenagers, so really, being having a serious relationship in high school is kind of hard anyway. But so I don't blame him for anything that he did. I don't blame Kristen. They were just in high school and it's complicated and they were on reality TV, so everything was embellished and they were put in situations that they were too young to be put in at the time, and producers were in their ear, you know, like yeah, you should do this for the trauma. So, you know, when I watch this, I have all of that in my mind. Like, they were so young and they had people telling them what to do so the drama would be interesting. So I really don't blame teenagers for the action that they did on a reality TV show, because again, a lot of it was like put in their head. Like, you always should, Steven, you should go see Lauren and Kristen on Valentine's Day and like make it drama. And he didn't want to do that, but they told him to do that for the show, basically. So yeah, but anyway, I this show is so much fun and it's nostalgic and it's comforting. I've seen it so much, and I used to live in California. I used to live near Laguna Beach, so I've been there a lot. So watching it is very nostalgic for me. And the other reason I wanted to rewatch Laguna Beach was because I had finished the OC, and that's set in Newport, and it just made me miss California. So I decided to watch Laguna Beach, because it's also set in the OC, obviously. So it was fun to rewatch. And then I watched 5 Feet Apart. I don't remember when I watched it. I just know I watched it in the beginning of December. Um, I don't have the physical copy anymore. But yeah, and I was only planning on watching like Christmas related movies, but then I rationalized it 5 feet apart, but there's winter in it. So, and then I watch Home Alone 2, which is, I don't have, you know, I had, let me see how I can show the difference here. You have the second, I really hate these people. The second one. I love this second one. I think it is great. A lot of people prefer it over the first one, and I kind of see it. I kind of understand. I love Joe Pesci. I love they have Joe Pesci in this movie. Daniel Stern. I love them both. I think they worked really well together. These movies are just perfectly cast and acted, and they're perfect. They're just fun to watch. Um, then I picked Jingle All the Way, which I don't technically own, and I want to own it, but I didn't want to buy it just to buy it because I didn't even remember if I liked it or not. So I watched it. It was streaming on everything. It was streaming on Amazon Video. I believe it was on Netflix. It was on Tubi. It was on Disney Plus. Like, it's on like everything. It might not be on Netflix, but I feel like it was. I feel like it was it's everywhere. But I watched it on Tubi, I think. No, I watched it on Disney Plus. Now I am gonna buy it on Blu-ray because like I forgot how fun that movie is, but it has Phil Hartman, and Phil Hartman comes up in another movie, and I didn't even plan it that way. But if you don't know, Phil Hartman was on news radio, and he was a voice on The Simpsons, and he was a comedian. He was really funny, and I loved him a lot. And I'm not gonna get to a story. It's not. If you want to know, look it up. It's sad. It's really sad. But I love him, and he was in Jingle All the Way, and it was just nice. It was just nice to watch, and like, oh yeah, he was in this, and I miss him. Um, Muppet Christmas Carol I watched after that. Obvious, amazing movie. Um, and then I watched White Christmas, my favorite Christmas movie. I watched it twice. I watched it by myself, and then we watched it with my mom and my stepdad. I love this film. This is just happiness in a movie. Like the drama is really stupid, but it's like a musical, so they have to have like the unnecessary dumb drama that resolves itself in less than 5 minutes. But yes, I love Vera Ellen so much. Her dancing was incredible. I love Danny Kaye a lot, and I love them as a duo. Vera Ellen and Danny Kaye. They did like two other movies together, I believe. And I have I always forget what movies I have of him, but I know I have at least the one other that they did together. But they, Vera and Danny, they just were like, I love the chemistry with all four of them. But if I'm being honest, I think the reason that it is my favorite movie is because they had like an incredible connection, and I love watching them together. Rosemary Clooney, I love her so much, and being in Rosemary, actually like really good friends in real life. Um, they all got along. I don't think any of them became like besties or like long time best friends, but they all got along. They all were like super close while filming this. So, and it shows. It just shows they had like so much fun working together. And of course, White Christmas is my favorite Christmas song of all time. And also, there's Dean Jagger who plays the sergeant, and he was on the Nun Story, and he's in Drift, which I have, and I just love him. I think he was underrated, and the movies I've only seen him in three movies, but he just came across as very sweet and kind, and I just love him in movies. So yeah, White Christmas. And then I saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus. I watched this with my mom and stepdad, and they thought it was funny. They enjoyed it. This movie is interesting because they were 8 years old, I believe, and they look so small. Like they're just small for their age. But what's funny is that they didn't believe in Santa. And I don't know if it was they never believed in him, or just like they were like 8 or 9, so they just didn't believe in him anymore. But whenever I think of like this movie, I think of, it was maybe they did the interview before they did this movie, but it was when they were promoting Big Daddy, I think, and they were on Jay Leno, and Dalen dragged Jay Leno to Phil over believing in Santa Claus still, and he was like, I called you like 6 or 7, and then doing that interview, and but whenever I think of it, I think of this movie, and I watch this movie, I always think of that moment because it was so funny. It sounds like he believed in Santa Claus, like he was like dragging Jay Leno so hard, and I loved it. But this movie was really cute. We have The Bishop's Wife, which is amazing. This movie is beautiful. And obviously had Cary Grant, Laura Loretta Young, and David Nevin. I watch it every single year, and you should too. It's perfect movie, and it's such a feel good movie, so you need to watch it. Oh, and I forgot. How's the if everyone has seen, if you everyone in the classic community, at least I would think, has seen It's a Wonderful Life. The actress who plays, I haven't seen It's a Wonderful Life in a really long time. So I'm honest, I'm not the biggest fan of that movie, but Zuzu, their favorite child of Jimmy Stewart's character. She's in this movie, so little fun fact. And also had Elsa Lancaster and Gladys Cooper and James Gleason, and Monty Woolley, so it has a good cast. Elsa Lancaster was a maid in Mary Poppins as well, but she was also the bride of Frankenstein. If you didn't know that, interesting career she had. I'll Be Home for Christmas. I watched it on Disney Plus because the CBD was not won't fit my TV. The dimensions are off real bad. I've watched it on my TV and it does not work. Um, but yeah, this movie is still one of my all-time favorite Christmas movies. I had a crush on JTT. A lot of girls, boys, whatever in the 90s had on him. He was just attractive and cool and smart and funny, and so I had a crush on him. So yeah, try to watch this every single year, and I think I have watched it every single year. Maybe not, because again, the DVD doesn't look great on my TV, so I don't think I actually watched it. Gonna cut maybe a couple years, but now to Disney Plus, and that helps. That helps a lot. I just wish it was on Blu-ray. I don't think it's ever gonna happen. So you probably have to watch it on Disney Plus from now. Have Kristen Anderson on Blu-ray. My mom and my stepdad wanted to watch it, so I watched it with them, and this is so good. It has a Little Mermaid in it, my favorite Disney movie of all time. So there's a lot of things I love about this, and obviously Danny Kaye, and this is a more serious role that he did, um, and it's great. It has Farley Granger. Um, everything is just making noise. Right now, my puppy is barking. This is not. Okay. Okay, How They Gonna Sell Christmas live action. I prefer this over the animated one. I said what I said. I think it's hilarious. This because the original, book does not have a whole lot of dialogue in it. Jim Carrey was just able to have a free for all with his lines, and he ad libbed everything he said except a few lines, that he had to say that are in the book, like little stuff that he was in the book, so he had to say in the book, classic lines that are in the book. But other than that, like it was all him. It was all him. So it was his ad libs. It was his comedy that they used. There's a scene in this film where he was supposed to do the tablecloth trick, and like everything was supposed to fall off the table, but he did it. Jim did it too perfectly, and nothing like came off the table. So he went back and he like messed everything up, and that's in the movie. So that just shows you like how free he was in this movie. Like they let him do whatever he wanted. But guess what? We're just think within reason because it was there were children around. But for the most part, he got to do whatever he wanted. Um, Animated How They Gonna Steal Christmas. Obviously, it's a classic and I love it. I just love the Grinch story. Then I watched. Oh no, Frozen. I watched it on Disney Plus. I don't even know where it is. I know and that's so funny because I just did like my complete DVD Blu-ray collection. But I know where it is. I know it's in the tub somewhere, but I don't feel like getting it out. So Frozen, I watched, and then I watched Polar Express. I watch it every single year. I will say that I think the elves are creepy. I don't like how they look. I think they look weird, and I always think it's funny how that one girl tells Belly his own life situation because he's like, this doesn't work out for me, and she's like, this is great, it's great, and she won't listen to him, even though he's telling her that Christmas is hard for him. She's like, but it's great, it's so great, it's so great. Like she won't listen, and I think that is so weird to me. Like she's like, Christmas is wonderful, and he's like, it's hard for me, and she's like, it's Christmas is great. Like I will kill you if you say that one more time. Like it had that vibe of just like she doesn't care. Like he doesn't care that your life is hard. He doesn't care that you're struggling. Like she wants you to love Christmas because she loves it so much, and she does not care about your situation in the slightest. Um, so I always thought that was really weird that she was like telling him like, no, Christmas is great, and he's like, not for me, and she's like, it's great, and he's like, okay, it is. Um, but yeah, fun. I love it. It just like the elves and then that part. Just weird, but I love the rest of it. um, Kiki's Delivery Service. Yesterday was it Debbie Reynolds' 5th year anniversary of being gone? I don't know, but Debbie Reynolds, and it has Phil Hartman. This is the other Phil Hartman movie. This came out after he had died, so it was a tribute to him in this at the end. They say rest in peace to Phil Hartman, whatever. But yeah, he played Gigi the cat. This little guy right here. And I love Gigi. But yeah, I watched it. There was a reason behind it. I mean, I don't. I besides I love this movie, but there was a reason I wanted to watch. I don't remember why. I think somebody mentioned it or something, and I was like, I'll watch it. So yeah, obviously I love it. And obviously it's not a Christmas movie, so yeah, this isn't even like close to being a Christmas movie. But I just had the urge to watch it, so I did, and it's a wonderful movie. And then I watched Christmas with the Cranks. I watch this every single year. This has become a staple for me. I watched it in the theater when it came out. Like, and it's I love what I love is that when it came out, people were not interested, and now a lot of people have seen it and they have included it in their own um, Christmas film that they watch every single year. And I feel like I had nothing to do with it, but I feel like a proud parent every single time because I'm like, yes, it's good. If you need to like it, it is so good. It is so funny. I feel like it has the spirit of Christmas in it. Like it's so the only I don't like the Santa. I don't know if anyone else feels the same way I do, but I just don't like the actor who plays Santa. Not I don't know him, but I don't think they picked the right actor. I don't know. But Eric Sullivan is in it, and he was Dewey in Malcolm in the Middle, and I watched Malcolm in the Middle for the very first time this year, and that is one of my all-time favorite shows. And I've always loved him. I've always thought that Eric was a very cute kid, and now I have seen him in Malcolm in the Middle, so I have a bigger fan than he was before. So it's just fun to watch. And then I watched Elf. Obviously, it's a classic. Um, okay, and then we have Me in St. Louis, which again I watch every year. Like this is a movie that I watch every single year, and I will. It is just perfect to me. It's so comforting, and I love the family dynamic. It is so good. And then I watched To Grandmother's House We Go. It has obviously Mary-Kate and Ashley. It has Rhea Perlman. It has Jerry Van Dyke. Rest in peace to him. I loved him, and I love him in this. This is really cute and it's really good, but watching it as an adult, I'm like, they get there and the whole thing is they want to go to grandma's house. That's the whole point of the movie, right? So they get there and they're there for less than like 15 minutes. They don't even stay that long, and then they leave to go home. like immediately after they get there. Like there's a whole thing with the cops, and then they leave. Like they leave and they drive home. So I'm like, they couldn't have just had them celebrate Christmas at their grandmother's house. Like that, I think that would have been a better ending personally. Because they got there, they worked hard to get there, and then they're just like, oh, so we're gonna go home, and I'm like, okay, but I do love it, and it's cute, and if you haven't seen it, you need to see it. That is really adorable. Okay, this it has a lot of movies, and I didn't want to list them all out because there's too many. There's so many. Okay, so I watched. Um, I watched Frosty, Rudolph the Nose Reindeer, Santa's Coming to Town, Little Drummer Boy, Cricket on the Hearth, Jimmy Good's Christmas Carol, and then Frosty Returns. So I watched all of these in one day. I don't like Little Drummer Boy. I have said that before. I just don't like it. I don't like the movie. I don't like the song. I don't like the story of it. Like I don't care about the Little Drummer Boy and at all. So yeah, that one I watch because it's on the set, and oh my god, this is driving me crazy. How do I do this? Okay, here we go. No. Anyway, yeah, but I love Frosty, Rudolph, and Santa Claus Coming to Town. Obviously, those are the best ones. But my favorite, I believe, is Frosty. But I love Rudolph. Frosty and Rudolph, obviously, are like the ultimate best ones. Oh, I didn't realize the nose. If the light hits the nose, it glows. I don't think you can see it, but when the light hits his nose just right, it glows red. But yeah, the Cricket on the Hearth is really weird. That's a really, really weird one. And then Mr. Magoo's Christmas Carol, it's okay. Frosty Returns is fine, but yeah. Frosty the Snowman. My grandma loved the magician. She thought he was funny, and the part where he makes a mess in the classroom because he like tries to do a trick, and then all his the egg, all the tricks like don't work, and like an egg cracks in the classroom, and like there's a the egg breaks, like cracks. There's an egg that cracks in on the it falls out of his hat and cracks and gets everywhere, and he says messy, 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 and my grandma loved that line. She's whenever she spelled anything, whenever somebody spelled something, or if she was taking her medicine, like her pills, and she spilled some, she'd be like, messy, messy, messy. Like that was, she loved that line so much. Whenever I watch this, whenever I watch Frosty, I always think of her in that line. And whenever he says it, I'm like, oh. Because, yeah, that was like her favorite movie line of all time. But, yes, we have that. Almost done. This video is not long. I mean, I watched a lot of new Timmys, but if I included them, maybe it'd be a little longer. But Christian in Connecticut, love it. It has Laura Shamnick and Cindy Greenstreet and Dennis Morgan, and it has S.Z. Sakal, and I love him. If you don't know, he was in Casablanca with Sydney Greenstreet. They were both in Casablanca together. But, yes. Love it. And then, I watched, everything is falling apart now. Okay. And then I watched Holiday Affair, which I had to buy on Blu-ray this year, and it has obviously Janet Leigh, Robert Mitchum, and Wendell Corey. It's so good if you haven't seen it. It also has Harry Morgan from MASH, who was a judge in this, and I love him. So yeah, great movie, highly recommend. And then I watched A Charlie Brown Christmas, and I watched it's Christmas time again, Charlie Brown. So there's actually like two movies in this set, and I watch them both every single year. And then I watched The Captain Thief with my mom and my stepdad a couple of days ago. So, which is a rewatch, and I got it for Christmas. The case broke. What the heck he had? What happened? Oh my gosh. But anyway, yeah, I have that. So, that is all. Goodbye.